Today is Sunday, the 9th of August, and we are reading from day 221 of the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. Day 221, The House of the Dispossessed. We were watching the workers begin construction on one of the school's new buildings, setting in place its foundation stones. The Jewish people, say the teacher, were called to build God's house and kingdom. They are the builders of houses and kingdoms. Whether with God or without Him, they were anointed as the builders, and so they have played a central role in the building of the great houses and kingdoms of man. In the modern age, most of the world's peoples have dwelt in two houses, the house of capitalism and the house of communism. The Jewish people were central in the building of each of the two houses. So too are they central in the building of the great houses and kingdoms of man, the houses of nations, economies, cultures, and sciences, and the house of the modern world itself. And yet, over and over again, another mystery has manifested. The builders have been driven out of the very houses they built, dispossessed by others. They have been driven out of their places in the house of nations, out of their places in the house of capitalism and the house of communism, and in whatever house they've built. Why? I asked. See, thousands of years ago, the book of Deuteronomy gave a warning and a prophecy of what would happen to the children of Israel if they turned away from God and His ways. You shall build a house, but you shall not dwell in it. Okay. But then what house are they meant to dwell in? There is one, say the teacher. They began building it 2,000 years ago, but then they removed themselves from dwelling there. And ever since leaving that house, they've never found another. What house? The most universal and wide-spanning house in human history. The greatest house the Jewish people ever built. That which is called the church, the Kehillah, the house that God built through them and into which people of all nations have come to dwell. When they return to that house, they will find themselves at home at last, and in a house from which they will never be dispossessed. And so it is for all of us. It is the only house in which we can dwell forever, and from which we will never be dispossessed. The mission. Seek today to dwell all the more in God's perfect will, that from which you cannot be dispossessed, and pray for the children of Israel. And we are reading from Deuteronomy 28 verse 30, the Gospel of Luke 13 verses 34 and 35, and 2 Corinthians 5 verse 1. May the grace and peace of God be with you.